Okay, I've just woken up. Well, no, I woke up about an hour ago. Um, there's been some recent events, again, to do with love and romance and um, all that, all that stuff. Um, but I've been doing my inner healing work for quite a while now, and I've been doing it really big time. Um, I've been facing the shadow inside myself, the me shadow. And last night there was a pivotal moment of darkness. And I say it was pivotal, I nearly said pivotal. I say it was pivotal because it cleared something. It it shifted something, and I knew something had shifted, but I wasn't sure what it was. I knew something had happened. And this morning, I was woken up by the cat, and there was a song running, when it's just running over and over and over and over again in your head. And I totally forgot to look at the clock because I'd just woken up. So I totally forgot to look at the clock for any of the specific numbers. But it was about 6 o'clock. It was about 6 o'clock. And this song, True Love, Never Runs Smooth. And it was going round and round in my head, and I couldn't for the life of me think who sang it. So it was important enough for me to Google it and find out. Turns out it's somebody, that I already like as a singer. I'd just forgotten who it was. And it was playing and playing and playing, so I couldn't get back to sleep. And so I went online, as is my quieter stuff to do, so I don't disturb the neighbours when I'm either awake too late or awake, too early. That making a noise is unacceptable because neighbours are asleep. So I flicked online, and I've just seen 333 on my camera. There you go again. That's my number, 333. And I saw this article talking about um, basically about chaos in the galaxy, and I think it was from NASA, um, but it was a photograph and an article about a swirling galaxy, a spiral galaxy that they'd photographed, and they titled it the Purple Terror. It That was in the title, Purple Terror, and it struck me, even though my camera or my phone is still in night mode, so it's still in black and white, but just the thought of purple and chaos and creation just didn't ring as terror to me. It just shouted out, you know, the beauty of life is chaos. And so I shared it on my Facebook, as I share most things that I like or interest me or save for later. Um, so I've saved it ready for my colour coming back on so I can actually see the colour. So then I thought, okay, I'll go on YouTube and see what's on there. And there is this fantastic tarot reader just popped up straight away. The first thing that I saw when I put YouTube on was a tarot reader. And so for my birth sign, so I thought, well, I'll listen to this. And as I listened to it, it was about true love never running smooth, about how we have to do our shadow work and release the things that need to be released. And it just all shot together. I mean, I was impressed about the purple chaotic terror. I was impressed about that and the shift that I'd experienced last night. And also then to top that off, that reading which I was listening to about clearing generational curses, or, you know, in psych talk, generational traumas, and the realization that true love is never smooth. And I'm not talking about true love in the romantic Hollywood way. I'm talking about true love in that we have to love ourselves enough to do the deep work, the deep, hard, painful work inside ourselves to look at our own shadow within our relationships that comes up within our relationships, where relationships end, or you get addicted to them, or, you know, yeah, you get heartbroken by them, you feel severe loss by them. And the true love, I now realize, is the finding of that love inside yourself by doing your own shadow work, because that's what I've been doing consistently, the shadow work, um, since about 2 years now. It's about 2 years I've been doing it, and I've maybe not even that long, maybe not even that long since a severe breakup that I experienced a while back that really, you know, like floored me, to be honest. And I've been doing this deep, deep healing work, or deep shadow work, to find my triggers and to find where my problems began, and just to discover how I can deal with them myself. And I got into another relationship which had a breakup, and I had to deal with what was going on with that again, because it seemed so perfect. And so I had to, it came, you know, pretty much the shock as a shock. It had its stuff, all of them do. All of them do, and it's all stuff that you have to learn to understand, not deal with, not to do with, do anything with other than to look inside yourself and to deal with it. And so I've been doing that as well, because obviously I'm riding in the shadow work train traveller, and the train travelling my journey, and the tarot reading was just so spot on that I felt it was not just for me, but it was deep shadow work for everyone. And it's stuff that everybody could understand, not just me. And true love isn't about romance. It's not about romance. And I get that now. Yet it's taken me a whole lifetime to finally understand that true love is not romance. That is attraction and codependency and lust and all those things, that are it's a distraction from the real meat of true love. And I'm just so excited about what I've just discovered that I just wanted to share it. And and I've no doubt that I'm so spiritually high at the moment because of the synchronicities and the the shadow work and the outer life expression of the shadow work that I've been doing for the last year or so, 2 years, 1.5 years, something like that. I've got no idea, because I was in a very black and dark place when I started doing the shadow work. I was in a space where, I'd given up, and I didn't want to be alive anymore, and I didn't understand what had happened, why it had happened, anything. Um, so I had had, counselors in the past, which were no help, no help whatsoever. And so I embarked on self-healing by discovering my shadow, my triggers, what sets me off, the buttons that people push that set you on fire. It's don't you dare say that about me. I'm not that. Don't you dare say that. When you feel like you've got to defend your own honor against injustice, and they're your triggers. That's what you fight about. You fight about a belief that is stuck inside you, that how dare you question my belief in myself. And so you fight back, and you kind of go crazy on it, and it doesn't achieve anything. Well, it does, I now know, because even those fights are pushing us into looking at ourselves, not the other person. They don't matter. It's not about what the other person did anymore. It's not about whether I was dependent or codependent, or, I think most relationships are based on codependency because they're based in romance. Um, and that's why most of them hit a brick wall of, ugh, and it's just, this isn't working, this is crap, this is, you know, and it hits that brick wall, and either you deal with it within the relationship, or it becomes so toxic that you deal with it by getting out of it in one way or another, by cheating, which I've not done, but it's been done within a relationship with me, but it wasn't by me. Um, or you push someone away, keep them at arm's length because it's just not working for you. There's just something, because things are based on romance and all those negatives that go with romance. I think romance is good for putting you in a darker spot. It's good for putting you in a dark place, and it gives you the chance to dive deep down inside yourself and find your own triggers, find where you're at. Um, because when you find where you're at, then you can understand where someone else is at. And you can't understand that until you know where you're at. So I just wanted to get on and have a have a say about that, considering how things have been in my past, and they've been rough. I've been through a lot of things that if I wrote a biography, like everybody, I guess, it would be unputdownable, I'm sure, because it'd just be like drama all the way through, of abandonment and I'm a mess. I've just woken up. Abandonment and, treachery and uh, abuse and all that stuff, and even rape. I'll go right out there and tell the truth. Even double rape. So, not to mention other attacks. So that, I know there's no point bringing up, but I can see now how it's all brought me to this point, to start looking at me. Well, I mean, I've been doing it for a year at least, and I can't. It was. Oh, I can't remember it. I started a while back, a long time, a few years, but just kind of like dipping my toes in because I knew there was problems that standard therapy wasn't helping, um, because they just kind of like scratch off the surface and then it's over, because you only get 6 weeks, 10 weeks if you're lucky. Um, but the pivotal thing for me was when I discovered that I have Asperger's, and I was 52, I think, then, when I discovered. I'm 62. No, I'm 62 this year. So I've known I was Asperger's for 10 years, and it helped to some degree to understand who I was and why certain things had happened in the past. But it didn't help me to become a different person. I'm still the interior type of person. I don't know if that might change as I go deeper into shadow work, um, which I use the tarot for. I do shadow work with the tarot. Um, I'm also embarking on using my own experiences with it and with life itself to help other people to deal with their shadow. And have found over the years, which is something I didn't understand, is that I'm kind of like a catalyst and for other people to start looking at their own spirituality, which is the same thing as looking at your own darkness, because you can't have light without dark. You can't just be all fluffy and light. It does not work. Fluffy and light is a distraction. It takes you away from the reality of yourself. And this is what I've discovered over the course of time that I've been since I first dipped my toe in the shadow work arena of learning to know and understand myself and love myself. I can't say I'm there yet. I can't say I'm fully in love with my true self yet. I've still got lots of work to do. I'm still pretty much a recluse. While I'm trying to deal with this, which I have been with, like agoraphobia and stuff like that over the years due to what's happened in my life. So I'm still pretty much a recluse, but I think I'm starting to see, like, just slightly above the surface of the water, maybe. Time will tell, we'll see. But I've just experienced a huge shift and huge spirit contact with my higher self. And I feel so blessed right now for that, because I can now see why other people have been the way they've been in relationships with me, and why the outcomes have been how they've been. And I wanted to share it because it's important. It's important for other people to understand that it's not about your partner, it's not about your romance, it's about the love you've got for yourself. I never understood that before. I never understood how anyone could say love comes when you can love yourself. And I now understand from this latest shift that there's actually truth there. And it's not about what we think the other person was doing, or what we think the other person's thinking, or any of that, because that's what I've always put it down to before. But it's not about that. Spirit told me this morning, in no uncertain terms, the truth of love, of what love actually is. And it's not romance, it's not lust, it's not codependency, it's not being dependent on another. It's weird, but it's deep, and it's in you. It's in you yourself. And if you embark on loving yourself just enough, just that tiny little bit, to start looking at your own, what we call flaws, your own triggers, the things that you feel like you've got to defend tooth and claw. If somebody disrespects any of that, and you just triggered into scratching out their eyes, listen to me, and take notice of me. I'm not what you think I am. If you feel that aggressive, or it's often blustery with tears and heartache and pain, and the song True Love, it never runs smooth. I can't get the tone because I'm not a singer, but it's like true love never runs smooth. It's all heartache and pain, and I can't remember all the words, but those are the 3 sentences that were running through my head when I woke up today, and it set me off on this investigation of spirit and darkness and this massive, massive shift in what true love actually is. And hopefully it will last, but in all spiritual shifts, there's an up, then there's a down, then there's an up, then there's a down, and it continues like that until you look at the darkness inside that keeps appearing, and that's it climbs its way up. You have to see it, you have to question why it's there, what it's showing you, what it's at, because it's screaming at you. It's screaming at you to look at something inside yourself. Why does this keep coming up inside me? Why do I trigger so easily about this? What can I do about this? How can I heal this? And you'll notice in your life that things just keep happening, and they're all linked to this darkness that's inside you, this dark belief of unworthiness, unlovableness, of not good in, not satisfactory. You ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Why do people not like me? Why do people not love me? Why am I so unlovable? And yet you can also see that you start to see other patterns as well, like the catalyst pattern. I tend to set people off on deep searching in their own soul. They search their own soul. That is spirituality. That is getting back to nature. We talk about I'm going to stop in a minute because this is getting quite long. It wasn't meant to be. But we tend to talk about the surface level of nature, of get back out to the trees, get to the beach, enjoy the sunshine. But when you think about it really deeply, even if we are locked in a prison cell, we're still in nature. We might be able to only see concrete, but in nature, when we go deep into ourselves, we find our own nature. And I'm not saying that being locked in is good. It's not. We're meant to be with people, but often a lot of us can't be for one reason or another. And I'm one of them. I'm pretty much a hermit. Like I said, agoraphobia. I lived a lifetime of undiagnosed Asperger's, which led to all manner of problems in trying to function in the neurotypical world. But it didn't heal everything, and I thought it would have done. When I got the diagnosis, I thought, yes, this is going to heal everything. No, it's not. I had to go deep, deep down inside to find little bits of things that needed to be worked on and healed. And I found that by doing that, it's attracted things into my life that have triggered me to look at those things. And this video basically is to encourage people to do that. I'm not out of the woods yet, and I know it. And I probably won't be out of the woods until my next lifetime, maybe. Or maybe the whole journey is healing karma that might mean I don't come back in another lifetime. Might mean I stay in spirit as a guide. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it is a magical journey. It's a deep journey, and it's not surface. It's not on the surface. It's not this fluffy lightness that is passed off as spirituality. Oh, it's not. It's about spirituality is about looking at what's inside, because there's a God or a goddess. Well, there is a God and a goddess and a demon inside every single one of us. We are it, but not in an egotistical way. We're not all, ooh, I'm it, I'm it, I'm it, I'm God, I'm a goddess, I'm this, I'm this. It's not that at all. That is the darkness that's inside you. It's not, it's about healing that. And to heal it, you've got to see it. To see it, you've got to feel it. And when you feel it, you're forced to deal with it. So that's it. I'm over 30 minutes. I try never to go over 30 minutes, too long. So take care of yourself. Put yourself first. It's not selfish. I don't mean in a selfish way. I mean, help where necessary, and you do it every day, whether you know it or not. Just doing your own healing is also helping everybody else. And I can vouch for that because it's a life's work. It's not a life show. It's not a life's show. It's a life's work. You don't need to be seen to be doing it. You just don't. You need to do it for yourself. And for doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others. And that's when you end up making videos like this, when you look gross in the morning. But, you know, this is me. Take me, leave me. This is me. Always me. So, you know, long way to go. But I'm on the journey. And that's just where you need to be. That's just where you are. You need the awareness of the fact that you are also on the journey. That's what spirituality is. It's not fluffy white lightness. It can be incorporated in because there's useful tools, but the real deep spirituality is inside, not outside. Okay. Love you all. That's why I humiliate myself like this. First thing in the morning. Never mind. Long way to go, but go.